Hello and welcome, and thank you for joining us to learn more about our rehabilitation counseling program and the different offerings that we have within this program. I'm joined today by Dr. Scott Sabella, who will go through today's presentation, just a little brief overview of what to expect with our program, and then a Q&A at the end. My name is Duvi Kamenyarik. I work at the Graduate School of Education's Office of Admission, and I will be facilitating the Q&A towards the end of today's presentation. But you are joining us to hear more about the program from who better else than the program director, so I'll pass it along to him.
Hi, Duvi. Thank you. Thanks for talking with me today, and thanks to everyone out there that's interested in our rehabilitation counseling program. I am Dr. Scott Sabella, and I'm the program director for our Master's in Rehabilitation Counseling program. And our program faculty, we have Dr. Omaira Munoz Lorenzo, Dr. Rebecca Jacob, and Jennifer Dexheimer, who is our clinical coordinator. And our faculty have really broad and wide-ranging experience in the field, and we really pride ourselves on being able to apply a theory to real-world practice. So the field of rehabilitation counseling is focused on providing supportive counseling to individuals with disabilities so they can pursue their own individual goals. And there's really a broad reach and broad array of job possibilities from working in state jobs at colleges and universities, community rehabilitation programs, veteran centers, hospitals, mental health and recovery centers, and with young adults with disabilities. So the public rehabilitation system is very old. It predates systems for mental health, even public systems like the Social Security system. So is rehabilitation counseling right for me? So a rehabilitation counselor is somebody who provides supportive counseling and guidance services to individuals with disabilities. So significant and long-lasting disabilities, whether it's physical or injury related, chronic illness, mental health and substance use, cognitive, sensory, and supports them in a holistic way. So because disability is so varied, rehabilitation counselors can work in a really broad variety of jobs and broad variety of work environments. So is rehabilitation counseling right for me? Well, I want to work in a counseling specialty that focuses on supporting individuals with disabilities. I want a field that has broad application spanning counseling and guidance, vocational services, adjustment and empowerment, positive change, and facilitating independence, community participation, and individual well-being. I have the interpersonal skills that would help me in forming counseling relationships. I have the professionalism and disposition necessary to work with clients, community members, and other support professionals. And I have the motivation and time to devote to part-time or full-time graduate study, including an internship. So the job of a rehabilitation counselor, we're expected to be experts in a wide variety of job functions. So counseling, consultants, resource specialists, case managers, evaluation specialists, advocates, and vocational employment specialists. And most importantly, counselors. So helping individuals work toward their individual life goals. So, people can work in a wide variety of settings. One primary setting is in vocational realms, so like in state vocational rehabilitation agencies. And every state has a state vocational rehabilitation agency. And in New York, it's Access VR and the New York State Commission for the Blind. So there's two state agencies that work with individuals with disabilities and helping them pursue their independence and vocational goals. Also, just some examples of New York State employment opportunities. There's job openings for in the Office of Mental Health for vocational rehabilitation counselors, the Office for People with Developmental Disabilities for vocational rehabilitation counselors. And then other examples are disability support organizations, community rehabilitation programs, hospitals, injury rehabilitation, mental health centers, psychiatric substance use centers, veteran service providers. something called private rehab. So that's for-profit insurance or workers' compensation claims, transition service programs. So youth and young adults, when they're transitioning from school, so K through 12 school, to either higher education or to a trade or to independent living afterwards. And we have disability and access services programs here at the university. So that's just a kind of a sliver of some of the possibilities that of where people can work. So, our rehabilitation counseling program is a 60 credit hour program. We are KCREP accredited, and KCREP is the largest accreditation body of counseling and related programs in the country. And we're very happy to be fully accredited by KCREP until 2029, which is our next re-up for accreditation. We have on-campus and online format, so it's fully online. And our program is set up to be full-time if people are coming to campus, and part-time for our distance students or online students. And part-time means over the course of 3 years, and that includes an internship in that final year. The final year is really just working out in the field in an internship. Our classes are timed in the evening. So we most of our students are working as well. So we time our classes that are synchronous when we meet in the evening. So starting at 6 o'clock usually. We have asynchronous courses as well. So it's a mixture of synchronous, where we meet in a virtual environment for the online coursework, and asynchronous. So that means that students will complete their coursework on their time according to their flexible schedule, as long as they complete all of their responsibilities. And those are typically timed in 1 week blocks during the semester. There's practicum and internship experiences working in the field. It's 150 hours for our practicum. And then, like I mentioned, our internship is in that final year, and it's 600 hours working out in the field. And you have an on-site supervisor and then a faculty supervisor that you meet with weekly for a group supervision. All our graduates are eligible to earn a certified rehabilitation counselor credential, which is recognized nationally. And so all of our students will at least sit for that exam. There's an exam at the end of the program. Our program's ranked 29th nationally by the U.S. News and World Report. So we're in the top third of all rehabilitation counseling programs across the country. And we have competitive scholarship opportunities. We're very pleased to have received a U.S. Department of Education grant for scholarships and to provide tuition and fees for our scholars. And it's specifically designed for scholars that want to work in the state vocational rehabilitation program, so the state federal program. And what those individuals do is they work with individuals with disabilities, and they provide vocational rehabilitation services and a variety of services to help people become more independent and improve well-being and find competitive employment. So it's specifically designed for those individuals. It's pays full tuition and fees for the term of the grant, and the requirements for that program are individuals have to do an internship in a state vocational rehabilitation agency, and there is a service obligation. So the service obligation is after graduation, students that are or scholars who received a scholarship have to work in a state vocational rehabilitation agency or a related partner agency. So an agency that provides services for state VR agencies for a period of 2 years for every year of funding. And that's prorated based on the full-time equivalent. So if you're a part-time student, then you only have to have the service obligation of that's comparable to a full-time student. So submission for the scholarship application is due directly to the program, and you can contact me for that link. And it's due. You have to be apply to the program by April 1st, and it's actually an April 10 deadline for fall start to receive consideration for that scholarship. There is a disclaimer from the Department of Education that just discusses the terms of our grant. So I'm placing that here. Okay, so how do I apply to the program? So priority admissions deadline is April 1, and then based on availability into our program, we do have rolling admission or application until June 30. We need transcripts from all colleges and universities attended. If you are a UB student, then the transcripts are automatically submitted. We need 2 letters of recommendation, a statement of educational and career goals. We value experience out in the field in the helping profession, so we'd like to see your resume. It's not a requirement, but we do. It can help support the strength of your application. There is no GRE that is required, and we will have an interview with the faculty, 1 to 2 interviews with faculty, just to make sure that it's a good fit for you and you're a good fit for the program. How do I learn more? Well, you can visit our program website. You can call our admissions team, Duvie and the rest at our GSE admissions team. And my number is 716-645-1123, or preferred is to email me at sassabell@buffalo.edu. So maybe we'll turn it back over to Duvie, who might have a few follow-up questions that I can help answer.
Yes, thank you, Scott. That was very helpful. A lot of the questions I did initially have you answered in today's PowerPoint presentation, so that's great.
Okay.
One thing I did want to mention for the RSA scholarship in particular, can students in the online part-time option also be considered for the RSA scholarship?
Yes, it's open to full-time scholars, part-time scholars. That was part of our scholarship application, and we know that many of our applicants and many of our students are working in the field, and truthfully, the part-time option seems to be a really just convenient option for them. And it's completed over 3 years, as I mentioned. That does include summer coursework for 2 year or for 2 summers, and then that final year, as I mentioned, is just internship out working out in the field.
Mhm. And for the synchronous coursework, I know you mentioned it a little bit earlier, but just to reiterate, that is in the evening if it is synchronous, correct?
Yes, all our synchronous coursework is timed in the evening, and you'll meet with your colleagues, your peers, and your faculty instructor. So they're in a virtual environment like this one, and there's group discussion and group breakout, so you can practice applied skills. And that's for our online program. Of course, on campus is kind of traditional on campus classroom environment.
Awesome. Thank you. I know you mentioned earlier on in one of your first initial slides, the different faculty members and support staff within this program. I know Jennifer Dexenheimer is the clinical coordinator, but can you explain a little bit about the internship experience? Do students have to find their own? Is there someone that helps them with that process? What is that like?
Yes, we do have students all over the state of New York, and we have students in other states that join our program, and even other countries that join our program. So students have some responsibility in finding their own internships, and we have a process. We have a course called Fieldwork that is a preparatory course for going and working out in the field. So talk about professional issues and applied skills, and also a preparation for finding and securing an internship. Now, the onus is not all on the student, though. We have a clinical coordinator whose job is to help students find those internships and help secure the agreements. We set up an affiliation agreement between the university and those sites, and communicate with them. But we lead students through a developmental process of finding and securing an internship and support them along the way.
Awesome. Thank you.
And
Um,
sorry, Debbie, just
no,
to
go
add
right
one
ahead.
more thing. And we do have lists of agencies that we have used in the past for internships. So it's not just people reaching out. We have affiliation agreements with numerous agencies around Western New York, around New York State, and other areas that we let students we show to students so they have an idea of some agencies that are have possible internship openings.
Awesome. Thank you, Scott. Another question we get in at admissions pretty often, actually. I don't know if you can provide some insight or give some expertise from your experience, but a lot of the time, students who are interested in rehab counseling are also interested in mental health counseling, but they don't really
Mhm.
know how they differ or how much counseling goes into the rehabilitation field as well.
Yeah, and I do understand that, and I know people are pursuing maybe different kinds of specialties and wondering what is the best fit for them. So they're both counseling specialties and they're both helping professions. So rehabilitation counseling really focuses on working with individuals with significant and long-lasting disabilities. So whether it's physical or injury, mental health, substance use, cognitive, sensory, um, and supports them in a more holistic way, including counseling and guidance and employment services, education and training, increasing skills and functioning, advocacy, independent living, daily living, mainly helping them pursue whatever their individual goals are and needs are. So rehabilitation counselors tend to work in broader kinds of jobs and roles than mental health counselors and may support clients with disabilities in multiple ways. So there is a historical focus on vocational rehabilitation counseling, and many of our graduates do work in vocational rehabilitation counselors. And I'll compare that to mental health counseling that can also have multiple applications in the field, but is often designed to help individuals who have like emotional or mood or life transition or personal well-being issues, and individuals. Mental health counselors often work in mental health clinics and private practice groups, so more likely to have a series of individual regular sessions throughout the day where they're working with individuals in individual therapy throughout the day, kind of a series of counseling sessions.
Awesome. That's very helpful. I appreciate that, Scott. I guess that's pretty much everything else you answered. Is there any advice for a student who's interested in this program before we end today, or anything that we I didn't ask that you wish that I had?
I don't think so, other than, our faculty are very experienced and we're always open to talking with people informally to see if it's a good fit for them and telling you more about the field, more about the program. And so I would encourage people to reach out if you're interested in the program and we can talk informally.
Thank you, Scott. And for anyone who's interested, if you have any questions about the admissions or the application process, the admissions office can be reached at 716-645-2110. We can also be reached at gse.info@buffalo.edu. So it's GSE, like graduate school education, info@buffalo.edu. And thank you, Scott Sabella, so much for his presentation. It was very well done.
Thank you, Dewey.